So in the previous video, we created our maze by creating a wall sprite and a wall object. Now, if we just compile the game just to have a look and see what it does, we can still move around like we've been able to in the previous video, but we can also go through these objects, even though we made them solid. So let's go and sort that out really quickly. If we double click on the player object, so the O player, we can see now the editor will reappear. I'm just going to hide this by clicking this menu button there. We're then going to add an event and we're going to add in what's called a collision. Now we need to create a collision with the object O wall. What this is basically saying is when the player collides with the wall, we need to do something. What I like to typically use are the jump to statements. You don't need to use these ones, but it's handy to try to explain them. If we're telling it to jump to 0, 0, relative, relative, what we're basically doing is we're applying 0 to the x and 0 to the y. So you can think of this like a stop. If we now play our game, what you'll find is we can now move left and right still, but if we keep the left key down, we come to a stop. Likewise, if we hold the down key down, we come to a stop. And we can actually move around the maze. Now there is one downside with this. You can kind of see my walls are a bit too narrow. Now the reason for this is a really basic collision. So it's not allowing me to go right to the edge. To combat this, there's a few different options. The easiest option is to go back to your room and then alter the maze to make things a little bit bigger for you. So like I said in the previous video, try to keep things to be about 3 blocks wide. That way you'll virtually ensure that you'll be able to walk around the maze unaided. Now it's at this point you might need to redesign your maze slightly, so have a little look and spend a little bit of time redesigning your maze. If you need to move the player at any point, click on the player layer and then move your player around. Just remember to click back on the wall layer and then you can alter the wall in whichever shape you need to. As you're altering it, just remember to have a look and make sure you're leaving around about 3 blocks. If you leave 3 blocks, you can basically make your way around the maze with very little effort.